I'm Tom Reed-Wilson, and you can find out a little bit more about me in the video description. These are my 20 questions with Waitrose. Oh gosh. Oh, the last thing I ate was a pain au chocolat this morning. This one had considerable heft. Oh, gosh, that's jolly hard. My granny makes an incomparable tarte tatin, and I think if I had to have my desert island pudding, it would have to be that, with a little dollop of clotted cream, I think. Oh, bliss. Now, please don't gun for me, but I'm not a crisp person. I do like those vegetable ones, actually. Sweet, sweet, I'm afraid. Oh, extra hot! Yes. Now, this sounds rather outre, and it's the only way in which I sort of match the plum I'm sucking on, because I don't in any other way in terms of things grand. But I am very, very partial to champagne. Waitrose's own champagne is actually my go-to champagne, also because they do demi-bottles, which, as I live on my own, is far more apropos. And then when they're drained, I wash them out, fill them with water, and they become planters for my peace lilies. They're fantastic. Oh, brown sauce, I think. I like the piquancy. Mine, oh, I do a kind of a naan pizza at the moment. I make my own naan with Dove's buckwheat flour, which is wonderful, and some total yogurt and some dried basil. I make a dough, roll it between two pieces of parchment, then put some passata and anything that happens to be in the cupboard, really. Some fresh basil and some mozzarella and some olives and some artichokes. It's really delicious and very quick, very easy. Oh gosh. You know who I think would be very diverting is Margaret Rutherford. She was a very fine actor, but she was also a staunch believer in ghosts. And she said she didn't trust actors that didn't believe in them because she met so many in the Garrick. So I think she'd be extremely diverting. Oh, I think I am going to have one of those naan pizzas tonight. It's a working day, so I need something I can bung in, as it were. Oh, it has to be Indian. Oh, I'm absolutely mad about curry. My dad grew up in Sri Lanka when it was Ceylon, and he makes a mean curry himself, and he gave us all these sort of iron palates that can take any amount of chili. And I love a really good, really piquant curry. I think most things lend themselves to ingestion on dates, provided they're not too saucy, which I know sounds ironic because you might want the date to be saucy, but you don't really want to dribble. The first thing that always goes into my trolley, because the layout of my Waitrose is such that I land on it first, it's the lamb's lettuce. And the other person who's a fiend for lamb's lettuce is Felicity Kendall, because I met her reaching for a bag of lamb's lettuce. Of course, I was chivalric and I let her have it. And then I launched into an absolute soliloquy about how I loved her in Mrs. Warren's profession and the vortex and umpteen things she did on stage, and luckily she took it very well. I am potty about Nigella. And I think that a supper party, chez Nigella, with all the kind of accompaniments, musically, lubrication-wise, everything, the whole panoply, I think would be divine. There's always lamb's lettuce in my fridge, always. And not in my fridge, but in the adjacent cupboard, my homemade vinaigrette. Oh, I like a dark chocolate-covered Brazil nut. Oh, I like an old-fashioned. I'm old-fashioned. I love the moonlight. I love the old-fashioned things. Therefore, it's very apropos. Coffee. Oh, unequivocally coffee. And iced, even in the winter, because in the winter it makes me feel like the coldest thing, which makes the air curiously feel warmer. and in the summer it's cooling. Bizarre but true. It was a first date. Never make a first date a culinary date. I think that's a valuable lesson. And I went to a now defunct restaurant in Soho called Malfi's. I ordered this beautiful lamb shank, and I was doing the lion's share of the talking because my date was really rather taciturn. And suddenly I launched upon a topic that he found diverting, and he launched into an anecdote of his own. And I thought, bliss, I can eat at last. So I dug into this lamb shank, and he stopped abruptly and asked me a question, at which point a hunk of lamb got lodged in my gullet, and I went puce in the face, staggered to the loo on the other side of the restaurant, and saw this vein throbbing in my head that I'd never seen before. And I had to perform the Heimlich maneuver on myself against the wash basin in this empty bathroom. And I only just survived. Or I think sharing, especially in a romantic setting, because discovering one another's palate through shared experience is very, well, I mean, dare I say it, erotic. Gosh, these 20 questions were very, very stimulating. My grey cells are not just dancing, they're polkering.